Matt Medeiros, WP Minute and Gravity Forms.
And this is Breaking Changes.
We break
That's our
stuff.
intro, folks. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yes, just two guys who have been doing this for decades combined, trying to figure things out.
Exactly. Exactly right. And in the middle of a whole bunch of like crazy, crazy, weird changes happening all the time.
Yeah,
Um,
in
I,
life
I,
and in WordPress.
mhm. I said this last time. I'm going to say it again. When we first were like, "Hey, let's do a thing, and we'll do it," however often it feels like it works, and then we were looking for like a theme, and we landed on breaking changes, and I was like, "Ah, but our change is really going to be breaking every 2 weeks or so." Uh, but so far, yes, that has been absolutely the truth.
If we can't find things that are breaking, then we break them ourselves, and then we talk
Yeah,
about it. That's
yeah,
how it works.
yeah. Well, today we have some really interesting subjects to jump into. Matt, what's your vote? Should we start with a softball or start with a hardball?
Go with a softball because I'm sharing this out right now. I'm doing the manual labor of promoting the show.
Oh, okay, so some of your audience are not going to get this at all. But let's start with then let's do this one here. How about this? Pull this one up. I actually thought this was really interesting. If you haven't heard, the folks from Roots.io, gosh, you know what? That's also such a deep pull. Like Ben Word has been around as long as you and I have,
Mhm.
and just doing the hard work of trying to create like good dev infrastructure for WordPress. um, I mean, I definitely tried to use Roots way back in the day,
Mhm.
when when it was all classic themes, and Roots came around and just was like, no, we're going to make the whole theming structure a really robust web dev forward system. And they did WordPress theming in a way nobody else was doing. Honestly, I thought that they weren't doing all that much anymore, but Ben Word has been out there chiming in again, because I think a lot of the work that he's always been doing is all of a sudden very compatible with AI in a lot of different ways. But he, WP Engine. Let's start. Let's pull back a little bit. WP Engine acquired WP Packagist, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially a way that you can install any plugin from a command line um, on your WordPress environment. It's a cool product, not a product, really cool infrastructure tool, and you definitely can install plugins very quickly that way. The kicker about that, related to like the whole WP drama that's been going on, of course, is that WP Packagist is not dependent on WP.org in any way whatsoever. And that should ring some bells for folks who are paying attention lately.
How,
There's a
how does
reason.
well how does it not like? How does it keep getting updates of packages and code? Like, how does it stay relevant and up to date to what's available on .org, or is that the idea where it doesn't need it? It's already cloned it once, and then that it. How does it stay relevant with its packages?
I think it's a good one, because actually, now that you make me think about it, it has to be somewhat dependent. So, like, once the whole thing went down where Automatic cut off WP Engine from .org from their plugin screen area, uh, WP Engine and a whole bunch of other folks were like, let's create a mirror of .org so that we're not dependent on .org. But the truth is, like, okay, you created a mirror, um, but that mirror still has to sync with .org in one form or another. So there is always that part. So Packagist is similar. The delivery infrastructure has nothing to do with .org whatsoever. You take the package straight from WP Packagist, and it goes straight to your local desktop or whatnot. Um, but for packages to be updated continually, it's going to have to pull from .org. I think the idea is that, like, there is so much activity going on behind the scenes on .org. There's so many different systems and internal structures that are hitting that that plugin API endpoint on WordPress.org, that there's not like an obvious like way to just block you from getting your plugin updates.
Yeah, and I just wanna help define it for anyone who's, like, not super technical, though I fear that 98% of our audience is. I know if Ian Meisner's in the crowd, he definitely knows what this stuff is. This is not the same as, like, the fair package manager, right? This is stuff that is, um, if you started doing any kind of vibe coding thing lately and Claude Code or whatever of your favorite tool asks you, "Hey, do you want to install this, FFmpeg?" Before you transcode a MP3 file to a video or whatever. It will reach out and install something generally through NPM
Yep,
and, install and activate that. That's kind of what this does. Great for local development and, of course, great for AI stuff.
exactly.
Got
That's
it.
really good example. It's like npm, a little bit more dependent on Composer, of course, and not npm, but similar idea. Um,
Yeah.
so delivery structure totally independent from .org, but how they keep themselves updated all the time, they're going to have to ping against .org in one form or another.
Mhm.
But they can just like rotate IP addresses or whatever if they want to keep it safe.
Got it.
Um, so he did get it was originally called WP Composer, but the founder and author of Composer reached out to him and said, "Hey, honestly, that's not really the right way to talk about what you're doing," and really kind of pushed him. That this just happened, I think, yesterday. He wrote a blog post about it as well. So now it's called WP Packages. I don't love that WP Packages versus W Packagist. It just feels very confusing.
Yeah.
But his whole push is just like, okay, WP Engine owns W Packagist now. That means their corporate interests will drive how that repository is managed. It's private now, essentially, not a public resource. WP Engine has said the opposite, that they're just gonna maintain it like it always has been. But he's like, no, we need independence. So at the same time, like he's a private entity and he's managing WP packages. So he's not a big corporate private equity backed entity, but he's still a private entity.
Right.
There's, as far as I understand, there's no real governance of WP packages either. So
Mhm.
um, but yet, I have a feeling he would like it to be that way.
Is there a way to support the work that I see a sponsor button right there, right? Is that what that says, sponsor? So when
Yep.
you click on that sponsor, does that
Let's see.
allow you what does that do? Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Sponsor him
So
on GitHub, basically.
gotcha. Yep.
But this looks like sponsor roots.io,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that's his that's Ben right there. And
Yeah.
that's a little bit of what I'm saying. Like, okay, I'm going to sponsor WP packages, but what I'm actually sponsoring is Roots,
Mhm.
um, and their support of WP packages. If this, from everything Ben has been saying, he wants it to be community driven. I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing him try to get more folks involved in one way or another.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, you know, I obviously really appreciate when somebody does something innovative and they start to take the charge on something, whatever it is, whether it's this package manager versus another package manager. Cool, it's great. Innovation. I think a lot of innovation, not even just in WordPress, happens in the tug of war scenario. One set of people going one way, another set of people going the other. Somewhere in the middle something happens and we find something either new or something that helps turn the tide for innovation. But the rubber's going to meet the road for individuals who do things like this, if and when they can steer and drive sponsorship,
hmm,
um, because it's it's after a while, as you and I know really well, if you are just one person trying to carry all of this weight on your shoulders to get it done, pull all these things across the finish line, and you're not getting paid for it, it's going to be a tough road. I don't know how
yeah,
much overhead goes into like supporting this stuff. But I think if he's critically thinking of this stuff, it's taking time somewhere, and there are going to be the same challenges that, heck, you could even say Matt was, Mullenweg was, trying to challenge the whole idea of open source and contributing and pulling your own weight. And I think for an individual like this, it gets 100 times harder if you're trying to make a living and doing this stuff and no one's supporting it. Um, that's I mean, look at the Fair Package Manager, right? Like that needed adoption from big companies in order to get distribution. Without it, it was a hard road to till, and we saw what happened with that. And hopefully, he gets some sponsorship. Um, Hopefully, the sponsorship stuff looks a little bit clearer, right? Where
Yeah.
it's for supporting the WP Packages project. Or he gets scooped up by Automatic, and Automatic runs the whole thing.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. That definitely could be in the cards. But yeah, the way that Ben has been talking about it, I feel like that's definitely not his agenda. But
Yeah,
you want to go over here?
let's do it.
Because you had a related thought on this stuff.
Ah, I do. It's a great segue, Matt. That was an unplanned segue. So, brief call to action. The WP Minute launched its second, third, and fourth course over the last 72 hours. But the second course, the Hire Smart and Scope Right, this is one that's taught and instructed by Eric Karkovac. This one is about getting better projects, scoping better projects, pricing better projects for an agency. So if you're a brand new agency, freelancer getting into the WordPress space, especially through the lens of AI, how do you do this stuff? How do you make sure you're building a sustainable agency? This is a great course for you. And if you're already a seasoned veteran in that and you know how to do pricing, but maybe you want to send your client to this course, because we're not saying which agency to pick. We're just talking about how to think about doing a great WordPress project. This would be a great course for your client in a pre-sales process to say, all the things I'm asking for, reinforced right here in this free course. You take the course, you learn what is needed from a successful WordPress project, and then come back to us and we can work, or you make it part of your whole pre-sales process. So if you're an agency freelancer, would love for you to register for that course. Everything's completely free thanks to our sponsors. And that's where I go with the fourth course that we launched, which is sponsoring WordPress media. I put together a course for anyone who is thinking about sponsoring WordPress media and how to think about spending those dollars and what those dollars mean. At least, it's a little bit biased because it's from my perspective at the WP Minute, but I do invite anyone who's thinking about either sponsoring WP Product Talk, the repository, Bob's show, or shows, Bob's
He
Network.
just launched another one this week, didn't
He just
he?
launched another one. I can't follow. Anyone who's thinking about spending that money, much like a developer who might be doing, free maintenance and free development of a package manager for all of WordPress. I look at that the same way that, you and I, Matt, and others in the space that I respect, how we do content for WordPress. We're not, largely a lot of us are talking about real inside baseball stuff that is really impacting the WordPress community and the stakeholders in the community, which then trickles down to our customers and our clients and our users. So it's not this massive space. It's not, our friends at WP Beginner. It's not a WP Beginner, millions of page views, or I don't even know what he gets, but millions of page views a year type of property. This is hyper-focused stuff that you and me and others do. So that course is going to get sponsors in the mindset of, what does that mean to us? What does that mean for brand lift, brand loyalty? We know we're not going to get 1 million clicks a month from sponsoring the WP Minute. So how can we think about the value? How can we tell better stories? At the end of the day, all of our traffic's down. Everyone.
Yep.
And traffic isn't going to, folks who are so busy consuming so much content are not going to want content just from a brand. And folks like Matt and I and others exist to help those brands get the word out in our different ways of doing it, right? Mine is particularly about sponsorship, and others have different avenues for that. So we put that course together. so that we could help anyone doing WordPress media get some more sponsor dollars, hopefully.
100%. I love it. It's becoming more and more significant. I'll share a little bit. I was chatting with our mutual friend Raquel about upcoming press conf and all those kinds of things. Talking with Rodolfo, who's organizing the Checkout Summit. Talking with Ray at the repository. All of them are saying that sponsorship dollars are scarce lately. And I'll just my take on it from a little bit inside, a little bit outside looking in. Um, Twofold. One is I do think that the whole WP Engine drama, legal battles are making everybody skittish in one form or another. Less interested in investing in the broader WordPress ecosystem, more interested in investing in their own pocketbooks, which makes sense. It just is not always been that way. And the other one is honestly that for as long as we've been doing this, the like what would you say 90% of sponsorship dollars come from hosting companies,
Yep.
um, ish, right?
Hmm.
And recently, more and more of the big giant hosting companies are private equity backed, some sort of big funding backed in one form or another, and they're all playing the same playbook where every single dollar that they spend has to be tied to some sort of ROI, and it's hard or impossible to justify these kinds of sponsorships when you're looking at your corporation through that lens.
Yeah.
I'm saying that in the nicest way possible, but the truth is, what I'm saying is, private equity is squeezing hosting companies, so hosting companies are not sponsoring anymore.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's a space where folks that are not private equity backed, who do have a lot more leeway and ability to make their decisions, can step in. So where a GoDaddy or whatnot would have formerly dominated the hosting space with the largest booths and everything like that, something like Big Scoots. Well, actually, I think they're private equity backed too, aren't they? Or Rapid Cloud is can step in where they couldn't have as easily before. Honestly,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Just some of the thoughts that have been in my mind that I feel like more folks have to like acknowledge and recognize in some ways.
There's something that I DM'd you another link, and it doesn't all have to be about me today, but in the sponsoring WordPress media course, I talk about how a brand who's sponsoring has to think that, especially for those of us who are doing it like you and and I don't mean to cast out anybody else, but I feel like we're doing work that a lot of folks won't cover because it doesn't get a lot of traffic. So you have to think 50% of that for a sponsor, at least this is how I do it. I could be wrong. I maybe I could get more sponsors, maybe maybe I don't know. But I like to tell the sponsors 50% of this payment goes to helping us do the work. Like
Mhm.
that's why you're sponsoring us, because you look at the work that we do, you value the work that we do. So 50% of the sponsorship is that. And then 50% of it, depending on which sponsorship level you're at, the WP Minute, we're doing something else with you. We're helping tell a story, we're consulting with you. Like there's other things that we do. So you have to get yourself in the mindset of you want to support us first. Like you want us to continue to do this work because you think it's good for everybody. Um, which, I think is important. On the other side, and this video that you have up right here is Can I Save WordPress? What I find as well is, look, there's a lot of small business owners in the WordPress space, freelancers, agency owners, small products who don't support in any way, shape, or fashion. And it drives me absolutely bonkers, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I give you an example. And again, I don't mean this just for the WP Minute, but I see this for other communities and other organizations. You have to step up and engage and interact with others, right? As somebody who's been producing media for so long, the amount of times that people will like eye roll my videos like "Can I Save WordPress?" or some rant that I have about the blue collar digital worker, but then also be like, "This whole place is burning down. I'm going out of business." Like, you got to find a lane on where to support. I try to get people, one of the biggest objectives I have at the WP Min is to help people get their story out. And I invite people into the community for free, or for $79 to support the work that we do. But how many times I see people join and don't interact and don't engage, don't talk about their story, and don't network with others. And I just pull my hair out. I'm like, if I wasn't making the platform, I'd be looking for a platform like this, to engage in. I mean, especially a platform that has a direction and that has a leader in it. That's what I would be looking for. And it boggles the mind that there's so many people who don't get involved at that level, but will take to Twitter or wherever and be like, "Oh my God, what do I do? Business is down. I don't know how to sell. I don't want to sell." It's just extremely frustrating to see it year after. I mean, for so long, for 15 years, people having
Yeah.
that same. Um, so yeah, it gets really frustrating, especially when people say, "Well, look at, let's say, my sponsor list," and be like, "I can't believe you let that person sponsor."
Mm.
Bro, I need to eat. I
Yep.
I have a team to pay. And by
Yep.
the way, you know how many people I do turn down that come to the sponsorship list? There's many, 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 that will come and say, "Hey, we wanna do this deal with you, pay you whatever, do all these other YouTube videos, blah, blah, blah." No, no, thank you. So there's things that people don't see on the other side of the fence, but are people willing to say, "We like the work that you do, and we're willing to support that," then we'll pay you to do it. This goes back to what we were just talking about with the
Yep.
WP packages thing. Like, people have to take that side serious about sponsorship and driving revenue for the thing that they're doing. Otherwise, that thing that they're doing goes away,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Um, the thing I put out, and this kind of goes, we can transition to the harder topic, which was the cancer in the clubhouse comment from the WordPress.org, Twitter account, and specifically referencing WP Engine, about whatever it was. I forgot. Oh, about the
It is.
acquisition of the.
I forgot that was what it was about. Actually,
Yeah.
yes.
So it was about that acquisition or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I could dominate I don't want to like dominate the conversation around, "My God, please stop doing this shit," but "My God, please stop doing this shit," right?
Please.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't help anyone,
Mm-mm.
right? So
Mm-mm.
the only perceivable thing that I can see with like a strategy like this, if this is even a strategy, is it's either somebody's got someone with a IQ of a child is running the Twitter account, and that person has been granted authority to just go out and be an instigator because
Mhm.
it's fun, right? So there's that. Or the strategy is, hey, we're just going to burn down everything, because ultimately the only way WordPress survives is if Automatic survives, and we don't need anyone, and we're just going to do it ourselves, which would
Yeah.
be a perfectly plausible path, PPP, a perfectly plausible path to success for them. They could say, "We don't need anybody else. We don't need any of this stuff. We just need to focus on Automatic." And people in a conference room would say, "Yeah, you're right. That's the best path forward. Why are you doing all this stuff?" So that could be the idea, where it's just like, burn all the bridges. Who cares? We don't need anybody. I hope that's not the strategy, but that's what it's feeling like. It's either
Yeah.
child IQ or we're going to burn the bridges, because this
It's
shit just continues to make us all look bad.
yeah.
And people were already losing traction to AI, like stuff that you wrote about in your piece. We don't need this. This does not help anyone look at us and go, "Yeah, I want WordPress."
Yeah. Yeah. It's embarrassing. I have friends and family who work in different areas of technology. I have my sister builds with Python, and
Huh.
other folks who do all kinds of things. And I mean, I hate to bring up tech with them ever because they're like, "How's WordPress going, Matt?" Like, cool, thanks, folks. um, it is hard. It is embarrassing. It is difficult. Maybe there's a strategy behind it. Like there's got to be something in between those two extremes that you highlighted in one form or another. This can't be good for the ongoing litigation that's happening. This can't be good for that. Um,
Yeah, I
and
mean, either it is or it isn't it. I mean, on the strategic side, if this was a strategy that's being deployed, it's, "Oh my god, look how hard WP Engine makes it for us. We must be able to look how offended we get." You know, like, "Look
yeah,
what they're doing," you know?
yeah.
So, there's that, but, um,
I mean, and you could see. I mean, fortunately, it didn't drive all kinds of comments, but
no,
everybody's just mocking it.
everyone's just eye rolling at this point.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard,
Um
but
But in the piece that I put in that video that I put out, which was largely inspired by this, was, can I save WordPress? A year ago to the day, or a year ago to the month, roughly, I put out a piece about, you know, we're never, because the debate back then was like, oh my God, how are we marketing WordPress? We were in the thick of things with the WP Engine stuff. And I was, people still debating, should we have marketing on the Make teams? I think that is done. Don't even bother. Don't even try. And why would you? Right. So my point of view was, at the time, grassroots movement, everyone comes together and focuses on one call to action for marketing WordPress, whatever it is, every quarter, every twice a year, and you just get one big initiative every quarter or every 6 months pushing on one particular marketing topic for WordPress. And then we all just disperse and do that on our own
mm,
personal or business channels, right? Why WordPress? Like, that was my call to action at the time. I put out a bunch of stuff about why WordPress, published on the WP Minute. And um, since then, I think only one person really took heed to the call, and she actually posted it a couple weeks ago. So that was great. Um, but something like this is just an evolution of that thought. Is, can I save WordPress? Like, the work that I'm doing now at the WP Minute is about elevating the experience of WordPress. Like, we want to make sure that people still want to use this, teach them how to use it, understand what makes it work right, and then how to find and help and contribute to the community. So that's my initiative, right? Whether people
mhm,
agree with me or not. And what I'm calling for is for people to do the same thing. Can I save
yeah,
WordPress? Can you save WordPress? Because they're not coming to help us.
yeah,
Let's get that clear, right? I pulled from my experience with the blizzard that we had last month, when everyone was literally stuck in their homes going, when are they coming? When are they coming? They're not coming. They
yeah,
can't get here. At what point do you say, help's not coming? We're going to we're going to save ourselves, and then hopefully, meet up in the middle of the city square later on. Um, and I just, it's like my last hurrah with
yeah,
this stuff, where I can't say this anymore. Um, maybe I need a bigger platform to get this stuff out. But I hope other people, you know, will do the same thing, because this stuff sucks when you see these tweets come out.
it
You
does.
realize they're not going to help you. So how do we help each other get through this, instead of just talking shit about each other?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I will say I'll be a little bit. I don't know what the right word is, but I'll just say like the way I've been thinking about the whole subject more and more um, is always through analogy in so many ways. But like okay, we're all carpenters, and we all use the same hammer, and this hammer is starting to uh, not be a great reflection of our work in one form or another. And so all we're talking about all the time is this dumb, stupid freaking hammer. And if it
yeah,
would just be a better hammer that wasn't so obnoxious, then everything would be better. But the truth is, the hammer isn't the goal. Like,
right.
the goal is that we're getting better outcomes on a website, or getting better search results to a website, or helping a client understand their branding better, or help, like these are all the goals. Like a carpenter's goal isn't having a great hammer; it's building a great house.
Yeah.
I mean, in so many ways, folks have been saying that the analogy is that maybe WordPress is the house. I'm saying like, no, no. I think WordPress is the hammer, and that's it. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And
Right.
there are lots of hammers out there. There are lots of them, and if this one isn't going to serve the purposes for my clients, then I'm going to use a different hammer.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And like if Matt Cromwell 2012 Matt Cromwell heard 2026 Matt Cromwell saying these things, he'd be like freaked out to death because
Yeah.
WordPress has meant so much to so many people for so long. But at this stage, I'm just really like, but it is just a hammer, folks.
Mhm.
It is just a hammer.
Yeah.
And nevertheless, we're having these multi-million-dollar legal suits about this freaking hammer. And I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, ugh, I just want to see some
Yeah.
good results. Like that's seriously, Matt. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. Your whole thing where you went out and solved your whole city's snowplow problems with not WordPress, with not
Yeah.
WordPress,
With not WordPress, yeah.
right? Because it wasn't the right hammer for that job.
Correct.
You were not going to be able to vibe code that in 2 hours with
Nope.
WordPress at all. Which, ooh, another really slick transition piece right there. Um, like, if we want WordPress to be more than a hammer, it's going to have to get a lot better than what it is right now. Like, I've been beating this up a lot myself in a lot of different ways because I'm doing almost everything I can with AI right now. And I'll tell you, my biggest non AI work is building out landing pages in WordPress. um, I mean, the one cool hack is like you can switch to code view, grab all the block editor styles, drop that into cursor, and say, "Hey, give me the new updated content with this markup," and that works overall. But that's still a bunch of copy and paste and back and forth. And I could probably figure something out with MCP. And there are folks who are doing some really cool stuff. Um, Andy Peatling built Miles by AI, Miles AI, and it's pretty incredible. I'm working on a bit of a review piece of that platform. But in his work, I talked with him a lot about it. If you look at a Miles website that's been generated, what you'll see is basically a theme that is essentially an empty shell, a bunch of core blocks, and then 5 miles of custom CSS, like 5 miles of custom CSS. And why? Because AI understands CSS and it doesn't really very well understand full site editing in WordPress. Um, that's my take, and people in the comments can tell me I'm wrong. But like I talked with Andy about it a bit. I'm not going to say he 100% agreed with me, but he said that like he is going the custom CSS route because it was more accessible for him than trying to strong arm full site editing into doing the kinds of layouts that he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Um, so all of that for me is like, why the heck are we building Google Docs when full site editing is not even ready for AI right now? I even I wrote an issue about design tokens. Design tokens are not surface very well for AI purposes at all. I sent it over to the core AI team. I haven't heard a whole lot. They're really focused on the infrastructure part, but to me, the thing that the AI team needs to be focused on the most right now is making full site editing very AI friendly. Like we should be able to interact with a WordPress theme the way that we interact with Astro. And if we can't do that, then yeah, WordPress has a very short shelf life if we can't get ahead of that game, because it will get more and more and more easy to just spin up a site and maintain it. This is the thing everybody keeps saying. Oh, you could spin up a site, but you can't maintain it. What do you mean? Your site is a bunch of markdown files. Like when it comes to Astro, it's a bunch of markdown files and a bunch of Tailwind stuff. Like it's not rocket science. It's not overly challenging, and it's not hard to maintain. It all goes to GitHub and can get pushed in lots of different places.
Yeah.
Um, Now, can your marketing team go in and style and design a perfect landing page with it? Not really. You know, they're going to have to do that with AI, and you're going to have to set up some sort of like pre-flight way to look at it before it gets shipped and all that kind of thing. So there's still downsides on the Astro side as well. Um, but that's a little bit of my soapbox right now. I'm just like, I think if we want to continue to use this hammer, we're gonna have to make it, a sledgehammer. It's gonna have to be an AI
Yeah.
friendly sledgehammer, and
Yeah.
it's gonna take a lot more work than what we've done so far.
I sent you another link, that'll accompany this conversation. Um, but I saw you take I won't call it heat, but I saw some folks in the WP Minute, maybe challenging you on the whole, like, do we really need to push AI that much? And maybe you saw some on Twitter as well, or LinkedIn, wherever else you posted
No,
this.
just your Slack, Matt. It was only your Slack.
Okay. That's kind of community culture we have at the WP Minute. Join for free. The so yeah, I'm at the whole with AI as a whole. I'm like in the middle, but on the urgency side. Like a
Yeah,
year ago, I was in the middle, but on the I don't know if this thing is going to work side. But now I'm kind of like, we got to kind of start leaning to do things with this stuff. Um, I I have a couple threads of thought because I did another YouTube video when they announced which we'll talk about in I guess in a moment, but the my.wordpress.net stuff, which was like, um, we're doing all like this cool AI stuff with like the connectors and 7.0, and by cool I mean I'm like, okay, we're setting the groundwork. It wasn't something that is overstating AI into the experience. Do I have my, reservations about it? I do, but at least now it's enabling at the core of WordPress freaking AI connectors, right? That's what they're called.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay, at least we're getting there. And I understand that open source moves slow. So at least we're there coming in April. um, but I agree with you as just like, man, do we continue down the path of that Google Docs like experience? Like, is that the priority? Because now more than ever, we should be able to shift priorities to say, we need to make sure WordPress stays relevant and in the conversation. So, one, stop tweeting stupid stuff. Two, let's make cool features that people are actually going to want. I mean, I like collab. Yes, do I want that in WordPress?
yeah.
Absolutely. But we don't have the manpower. I mean, I think it's going to happen anyway, but we're not. I look at it as like, oh man, all hands on deck with making this an attractive platform. The Again, the more business side of me is the article that you have up on the screen right now, because as of today, WordPress.com announced that you can now do the editing of the site and the content and stuff through the MCP, specifically through WordPress.com. And when I think about and theorize the strategies of automatic and surviving, and I've been saying this, Matt, for years,
Yeah.
that you will go to WordPress.org one day and it will say the best way to experience WordPress is go to WordPress.com.
Yeah, I'm like, if they don't do it, I'm gonna like advise them to do it with you. It needs to
Right.
happen that way.
Yes, it needs to happen that way. And that's the uncomfortable conversation that a lot of people don't want to hear. But when I look at any successful commercial company, software company, it's generally, we've got this thing you can buy and you can get this thing over here for free.
Yeah.
Buy
If
it,
you don't
get it for
want to
free.
do all the hassle and fuss of
Right.
DIY, then we can do it for you. That's
Right.
100% the WordPress model. It just has never been run or operated that way. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Uh,
with you on this. Like the fact that we're seeing the first time that automatic, let's say automatic, is saying to the world, "Hey, vibe coders, meet WordPress." It's not WordPress.org, it's WordPress.com. That to me
Right.
is like finally, because
Yeah.
it's a hard conversation that a lot of, especially plugin shops, high plugin shops, they uh, they don't want to hear that we need to benefit automatic first. But I'm with you
Yeah.
100%. Like if automatic doesn't survive, then we don't have a project anymore.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not saying like that's the strategy of like the slow rolling stuff of WordPress.org or the open source version of WordPress, but it is something that could happen. And we're obviously not going to get into a debate of like who should be contributing to WordPress and all this other stuff. And yes, like you can always look back and say, oh, Matt's right. We have to have everybody pull their weight and do their thing. So this is all better. But it's I'm happy with what they're setting up in WordPress 7 with the connectors. It's interesting that like the first time a paid thing, I don't know if we talked about this on the last show, but I think it's interesting that the first time we'll have a paid thing in WordPress core is not automatic or Jetpack. It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
API key that you
Yeah.
buy from somebody else. But I
We
think it's
did.
the right move to slowly roll this out to
Yeah.
have things happen inside of WordPress. Bring your own chatbot. We don't need a chatbot in WordPress. Bring your
Yeah.
own chatbot to the table, and that's fine with me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. There's definitely some urgency to keep this thing going, and I don't know if the Google Docs experience is the thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, they have essentially paused that for going into 7.0 at this stage. It just wasn't quite ready. So,
Look what you did, Matt. Look what you did.
I definitely didn't do that. I think I don't like the optics of the timing.
Staff reporter Matt Cromwell from the repository.
Yeah. But what I also like that they said is that it would be off by default when it got shipped. But it's like, I guess, put it into multi-site territory in terms of feature sets, I guess. But real quick, actually, I want to highlight, folks are chiming in. If you're here and watching from whatever channel that we've connected, then say hi. We have Brian Gardner here saying hi from Arizona. Brian is, full disclosure, a wonderful person, and that's all I'm going to say about him. That's my full disclosure. And Nick McLaughlin is here also. I think I know him from somewhere. I'm not totally sure, but somewhere for sure. Nick, thanks for being here. Brian, too. Nick is saying also in the comments, not disagreeing about the state of things, just having a this is fine moment at the idea of WP fails if automatic fails. Yeah, a little bit, I have to say. Like, it's I think it's the reality. It's been the reality for quite a long time. What's uncomfortable about it is the way in which it's become the heart and soul of the legal battle. But it is true nonetheless. We got one more hello here from, excuse me. Man, I'm not doing good here. From Techie Reviews. Hi from the Netherlands, right? Thanks everybody for being here. Cool. So this one, you brought this one up.
Yeah, I'll make this short because I feel like I've been ranting too much.
And we've been talking about all of these things all at the same time, basically.
Yeah. These are the things that are breaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, breaking my brain and breaking in the news. My.wordpress.net was announced, and full disclosure, Eric Karkovac will be releasing an interview with the team that did launch this to answer some of my questions that I ranted about in a video. I love Playground. I think Playground is one of the coolest things that we have in our tool chest of tools, along with the WordPress hammer. Playground, I use it all the time to test new versions of WordPress coming out. Oh my God, there's like a new thing of Gutenberg I want to test out. I just go to playground.wordpress.net. They have blueprints. They have a whole tray that you can bring down to install different, blueprints and stuff, and try all kinds of things. Love it. But then they come out of nowhere, and it's just like my.wordpress.net. You can run WordPress in your browser, and then Matt puts out a post on his blog saying like, this is what's going to make WordPress go to the billions. Well, I don't see why. Like, it's like we've got this great thing over here called Playground. It makes sense. It's documented. The landing page looks cool. When you spin up a Playground, there's inline documentation. Like, I'm here to do.
This is Playground, though. This is Playground, right?
It's powered by Playground, but it's my.wordpress.net. and you don't have all of the playground features. And in fact, not only do you not have the playground features of what we all know, like, the GitHub stuff, the PR polls, that you can like test out stuff from a PR, the blueprints, changing of the WordPress version from a dropdown. What this is a stripped down version of Playground that is just like rebranded for, I guess, for the average user to be like, oh, I don't need to see all this tech stuff. And while I can appreciate that, I'm like, why? Why this randomly, and why now? Like, what else does this do that we don't already have with Playground? And it's just like a confusing thing. In my opinion, like, it's just like, why are we just throwing this out here? It's almost like there's an idea for it on what it's going to do in the future, but this is like version 0.000001, and it's nowhere near like whatever Matt's thinking is going to push this to, billions of WordPress things around the world. And then not only that, it's just like, how are you going to excite the average user when the landing page looks like it did? It's just like a purple gradient, type something in it. It doesn't even look good. No offense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't look good. And it's not even about the looks. It's just like, how do you tell an average person what to do next with WordPress? That's already the challenge with WordPress. What do I do with this thing now? And then when you tell people, hey, run it in your browser and do whatever you want with it, and it's like, here's a text input field as step one, and you're just like, how does the average person, they're just going to leave.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just feels like a half-baked thing, and I just don't know why we spend energy on it.
Whoa. I have not seen this before. That's different.
So I'm like, yeah, Playground has this, and this is cool.
Has
Like, you
it?
can see,
Oh.
yeah, like you can see your code and stuff. Oh, and here's the other thing. The biggest thing, which if you go to the 4 square dots, 4 square icon all the way to the top right corner, there's new nomenclature called apps, like install apps. Where the hell did that come from? Like, we've been calling it plugins for 20 years. And then when you have a collection of plugins in Playground, they're called blueprints. Save your blueprints, load your blueprints from a URL, load your blueprints from GitHub. Like, that's really cool. And now suddenly we go to my.wordpress.net and there's this concept of apps, but they're just plugins. So
they are?
Yes.
I can't figure out what they are.
Yeah, they're just plugins.
An app. What?
So to me, this is a way too early release of something that's planned, which would probably be cool in like a year from now if it were version 1. But what is that? Like, why just dribble it out there? I haven't listened to the interview yet, but it's coming to the WP Minute, I think, next week.
Okay, I just created an app called Testing Plugin. What the heck did I create? Oh, it just nothing. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. That's super weird. I don't understand that. That must be related to something.com-ish. Right?
I guess.
Yeah. We're all confused. We're all confused.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, okay, I zoom way out and you get real esoterical and you go, okay, WordPress is the operating system of the web, and if you believe that's still one of the missions, WordPress would be a great GUI to content of a person, of an organization, of a brand, and you want to connect that up to other apps, okay, or you want to bring apps in to do things, okay, I'm jiving with that, but we're so far away from that. I mean, it's just like, why even release it? Why release it on make.wordpress.org, and why have Matt blog about it? It just, to me, it just signals that there's an idea here, and they were just like, let's just ship this and get it out and see what happens, and then we'll iterate it on in the future. But it's also like, does that mean we're going to leave Playground too? Like, what the hell?
It feels a little bit like that play of like, WordPress.com powered by WordPress.org. Well, or WordPress.net powered by Playground, ish,
Ish.
plus apps. I don't know.
Plus
That
apps.
is a hard go-to-market strategy, I have to say. I have it up already. This I'll just share this one last thing. So despite all of our curmudgeoning about like it's just a hammer, get over it, people, or all of the drama and all of the noise that's going on all the time, I'm still trying to contribute to WordPress. Call me crazy. I'm still trying to contribute. Um, I've heard recently and experienced recently how terrible the search is in WordPress admin area. And I heard somebody the other day just be like, "Well, don't do that because WordPress search sucks." And it's like, it's actually kind of true. It does kind of suck. And I was just trying to add a simple link to a paragraph, and it couldn't find the post that I had just posted before that, that was live and public, and it was out there, but it couldn't find that post for me. So I was like, "Man, I don't like this problem." And so I just asked AI, like, isn't there something in MySQL that makes search better than just the way that WordPress, the WP query does it right now? And AI was like, "Oh yeah, like MySQL has been iterating for the last 15 years, and the WP query is stuck in 2005." Which AI being snarky or whatever, but it was totally true. Full text is a really cool aspect of what is natively available in every single WordPress MySQL site right now. Every single one. It's not a compatibility issue in any way. Like full text search is supported in every single MySQL instance out there. We're just not leveraging it at all. And you can add in taxonomies, you can add in custom post types, you can add in whatever you want, and they can all be available to be found in the normal WordPress search. And I spun that plugin up in like about 2 hours total, honestly. And I haven't even done, I will say, I haven't done serious like security passes on it yet, honestly. So no production sites, please, folks. Um, but I and then I was like, I don't want to maintain this for forever. I would love for this to just be a canonical plugin, or for people to take this up and see if they can bring it into WordPress core or whatever. And I asked around, and there was a huge initiative led by George Stephanis, no, Stephanopoulos, excuse me, George, sorry, way back in 2012, 2013, to essentially do essentially this. And there's stuff on make.wordpress about it. There's stuff in Slack about it. But it never went forward. And for all the talk about contributing to WordPress, it's like, well, people have tried. Like if George had other folks who could have come alongside and helped with the momentum and everything, we could have been enjoying a lot better admin search for the last 10 years. But we don't, because contribution to WordPress is not easy. No matter how folks talk about it, it is not easy. It takes a whole ton of work, a whole ton of labor. You have to be there all the time trying to push things through. And then it still might not get shipped. Like, honestly, I do feel bad for all the folks who spent the last 3 years building Multi-Collab only for them to hear it's not going to make it into 7.0. It's going to make it into something else, but like it's hard. So nobody should be pretending that contributing to WordPress core is easy. It's not.
Right.
Nevertheless, if you want better search in WordPress admin, check out my blog post, check out my repo. I think we have a good stab in the right direction if we head this way, personally. So,
And does that search enhance, just for my own edification, does that enhance the search for like posts and pages in those
yep.
in the search field? Is it adding an additional layer of search somewhere else? Will it hook into command palette search or enhance command palette search? Or are you hoping like, hey, this is just the start and hopefully it goes everywhere?
It actually does all of those things because it is hooking into WP Query. So
Got it.
WP Query basically just goes and does a like search on MySQL. And we're basically just telling it, don't do a like search, go and search full text. And in order for full text to work, though, it does create a unique index table in MySQL. That is an additional aspect to it. And I've heard some folks say that that's why, like actually WP VIP, they have an article on their site about don't use full text search if you're an enterprise client. Um, but their case study that they did was like full text search requires all these extra post types and an extra database table. And that article was written a long time ago. So this is a little bit different now. But essentially, you turn this on, it creates an index in your MySQL table, and then it works, and you really don't see anything else. Like it's just taking exactly what WordPress is today and iterating it the very next step forward. That's it. So
And the obvious technical drawback is going to be what? Just adding more weight to that database. If you have a huge database, are we going to have implications? Like,
I'm not sure honestly, because like I ran it has I spun up all of this benchmarking for it as well. So like um, core has if you're searching one word, this actually gets you there a lot faster. So even though there might be more data in your database, it's making that data more accessible to the search. So
right.
it's processing things a lot faster. So there's this trade-off there. It's more the question of like what the enterprise folks say is whether or not this scales super well. But I think
Right.
that there's no way that an enterprise client is happy with the current WordPress search at all. They're hooking in and doing some sort of Elasticsearch somewhere else for
Right.
certain. Like if that's your problem to solve, the current search is not solving that problem for you.
Right.
So I think that's almost not relevant to the question because this is already going to be a lot better than something that they're trying to replace anyway. So I think it's worth testing out and trying a hand at it. So, but
Very
call
cool.
me crazy and naive, but we should just keep trying to make the hammer better, I guess.
I love it. I like it. Hopefully you get more adoption and somebody brings it into core.
Hopefully, we'll see. Matt, what are you looking forward to the next few weeks and whatnot?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, in a couple of weeks, I'll be at PressConf, so that's exciting. April 8th through the 11th.
You and I will be there both.
You and I will be there. The old curmudgeon traveling guy is already in my head. Oh God, I gotta pack. I gotta drive to the airport. I have to go through TSA. You see headlines in the news. TSA is backed up miles, and you're like, oh God, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
Because we love PressConf. So I'll be there. That's exciting. And honestly, there's so many things I'm working on at the day job, at the WP Minute, and the AI. I'm just excited for the weather to warm up. That's all I care about at this point.
yeah.
I just want sunshine.
It's going to be
Uh,
like 90 degrees probably still.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome. I'm also looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing Miles. Miles actually got out. Beta is open on Miles AI again. If you are not in there already, you should check that out. I think it's really interesting. Um, I've been saying it at almost every episode. I'm looking forward to PressConf a lot. I'm looking forward to Checkout Summit a lot. I think both of these are really fascinating opportunities in the WordPress space. I am missing out on CloudFest this week. There was a lot of energy around it this year. And
Were you were going to it, weren't you, at one point? No?
No, this week was just not a good week for me overall and the family and all that kind of stuff. I've been there for the last 3 years, and, I've been priming the pump for a lot of folks saying that it is a great space for the WordPress space to go to, and it's not just for hosts and whatnot. It especially the Monday, with WordPress Day and the Sunday, I think is when they do the WordPress hackathon. It's really good. It's very unique. So
Yeah. And it's like 3
interested to
hours from
hear.
you?
Say, yeah, only 3 hour drive. So
Yeah,
yeah, but not this time around. So
next time.
yeah, cool, cool. Well, thanks, folks. This has been Breaking Changes. You can find Matt on the WP Minute. You can find me on WP Product Talk, Gravity Forms, Roots and Fruit. We're not hard to find, folks. We'll see you all next time.
Helps us pay the bills.
Sponsor Matt.
Both Matts. Both
one,
Matts.
one, one of the Matts. One of the Matts in WordPress.